There's about a month left till Kyle Rittenhouse comes to Kent State's campus. Find out how students and student organizations are feeling about his visit.
Yesterday, Kent State University had a special visitor come to discuss activism voting in May 4th. Watch to see who the visitor was and their message to Kent students.
Last night's severe storm brought rare weather to certain parts of Ohio that left devastating damages.
Last September, the nation was at a funding deadline, and it looks like history repeats itself 6 months later. The details surrounding a potential government shutdown and more as TVT News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Happy Friday, Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lex Rady.
And I'm Nikki Gajeski.
We start tonight's show with student reactions to Kyle Rittenhouse coming to campus as a guest speaker.
Our reporter Dennis Farahani has more to the story. Dennis, what can you tell us?
Some campus organizations reacted quickly and negatively after the announcement this week that Kyle Rittenhouse is coming to speak at Kent State.
We have a memorial, a museum about May 4th and the tragedy that happened and how it impacted not even just this campus but this country. And then to invite someone who incites violence against others that they don't agree with, to invite them to this campus to talk, it's embarrassing for the university.
Rittenhouse gained national notoriety in 2020 after he was acquitted of shooting and killing 2 people during a protest in Wisconsin. Rittenhouse maintains he acted in self-defense. Following this week's announcement, a group of students started a petition to stop him from coming to campus because of safety concerns.
I don't feel safe on Kent State's campus because of this. Not even just because of the history of the people who they bring here. The issue is that he shot protesters, people who were trying to get away from him.
Nonprofit organization Turning Point USA is bringing Rittenhouse on campus on April 16th at the Kiva. Students are already planning a protest ahead of the event.
You have brought somebody on this campus who has wrongfully shot those protesters and taken their lives as well. So it is very heart-wrenching, heartbreaking to know that this is occurring at this type of university where I thought we could be all inclusive and diverse.
The university released a statement saying that Kent State permits groups to speak and share their views on different topics, and they encourage freedom of expression. However, they added that they do not endorse or condone any opinions. Students disagree.
Better wages and a better quality of life for Kent students now and every year to come.
You know, you could definitely have free speech, but when you have an organization that is registered through your school, you have an event that is sponsored through your school and is using your name, if you're letting this group go out here and say whatever they want to say, that means that it feels as if you support it.
The president of Black United Students says the event is unacceptable and says members of their group do not feel safe if Rittenhouse comes to campus.
I feel that the case was slept on. I feel that the matter of the whole entire him getting off was unacceptable. Especially him coming to my campus, my home. It don't feel right. You know, obviously I know all the rules. Like, they're not breaking any laws by bringing him here. And me as the president and my whole entire e-board can stand behind me with this. We're scared of what might happen.
TV2 reached out to Kent State's Turning Point USA chapter as well as the national office, and we have not received a response. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Dennis Farahani.
Thanks, Dennis. Parkland High School survivor David Hogg spoke to Kent students Thursday about his experience and encouraged student activists to create change.
Our Tyler Slosser attended yesterday's event and spoke with Hogg.
Hope is not a necessary ingredient to make change. I don't always feel hopeful. I actually rarely feel hopeful.
The May 4th task force brought David Hogg, a Parkland shooting survivor, to campus to give his insight on gun violence and student activism.
Both really tap into issues that are really important for the youth to understand and have totally made these just cross-cultural, cross-generational connections in getting people mobilized and active in local and national levels to make positive change in society.
The goal was to highlight the connection between his experience as a survivor and the May 4th shootings to keep Kent State's historical spirit of activism alive.
I felt a kind of kinship with him as this on-campus student-led institution of keeping the memory of May 4th alive, and with how he has consistently fought for the truth to be known about what he went through. So we felt like he would be a very fitting speaker for our cause and connecting with the student body.
It's a place that's very historic too, and obviously a community that has experienced gun violence that, even if it was decades ago, still leaves an incredibly traumatic scar on the community, and not one that you can ever fully heal from.
As a founding member of Walk for Life, Hogue gave his insight on how movements are created and how change can be made through them.
Unfortunately, movements are created as a result of trauma, and my biggest piece of advice is to remember that, to take the long-term view and know that whatever issue you're working on is not going to be solved overnight. It's going to be a marathon and not a sprint. The biggest reason why these movements don't succeed is because the system is not meant to be changed.
Also, he motivated students to find passion for what they love to do in order to be active members of society.
You need to find something you're passionate about and work away on it as much as you can. And don't wait until you've read a certain number of books or watched a certain number of programs or anything like that to learn more about something. Just start doing, and eventually you'll figure it out along the way. Just don't give up.
Hogue touched base on the importance of voting, especially on the local level, to influence decisions on important matters.
Remember that it's more than President Biden on the ballot. There are, frankly, especially in Ohio, what is going to affect you politically far more than the presidency is your state legislature. It's incredibly important that we still vote, because unfortunately, no single person or single election is going to save us.
Hogue will be continuing his work advocating for gun control across the country and encouraging young activists. He advises students at Kent State to do the same. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Tyler Schlosser. Keep looking out, Portage County.
Kent State University's football team is taking a break from their practices and instead is making their way to the stage. FAB is hosting a lip-sync battle between the football team and Kent State's Black United Students Organization tonight at 7 in Oscar Ritchie Hall. The event will last till 9 p.m., which is when it will be revealed who performed their song best.
Continuing with musical activities happening on campus, Kent School of Music is hosting their Kent Keyboard Series, Hear Her Roar. The series will feature guests like violinist Kiera Saito Beckman and cellist Anna Kuo and Dan Gilbert. Hear Her Roar will feature the works of female musicians like Clara Schumann and Hannah Hagberg. The event takes place on Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. in the Lulu Recital Hall.
A severe thunderstorm prompted many funnel-shaped clouds and tornadoes that caused mass destruction in multiple parts of the Midwest.
5 tornadoes were confirmed in Ohio with at least 3 casualties. Communities affected are cleaning up the destruction left by the storm while first responders provide aid.
The Ohio Emergency Management Agency is continuing to monitor the severe weather that impacted western Ohio on Thursday. The Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Ohio Department of Transportation are working together to assist communities that were affected by the storm.
Governor Mike DeWine and Lieutenant John Hust issued a statement expressing their condolences to those impacted by the tornadoes and severe storms.
Unfortunately, the weather is still pretty rainy and gray, but luckily we have our weather woman, Adriana Gajeski, in the studio to tell us what lies ahead.
That's right. So Adriana, will Portage County see some sun and get some warmth in the upcoming days?
That's right, guys. Good evening. Portage County. My name is Adriana Gajeski, and let's take a look at your weather in Kent. So currently, it's about 47 degrees. The dew point is at 38. Wind is northwest 8 miles per hour. Humidity is at 69%, and visibility is 10 miles. And it feels like 48 right now, which is pretty great. Saturday, it's looking like rain will end early, but it will remain cloudy with 60 degrees. Wind is southwest 10 to 20 miles per hour, and sunset is at 7:34 p.m. And Sunday, it's looking like 44 degrees with some clouds and a possibility of rain and snow. Wind will be west with 10 to 20 miles per hour, and sunset is at 7:35 p.m. That's all I have for now, but stay tuned for your weekend and 7-day forecast coming up. On to you, Coleman.
Thanks, Adriana. We are now joined by two USG candidates, Shannon Brown and Jessica Starkey, running as a ticket for the president and vice president position for the undergraduate student government. Thank you so much for joining us today, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so we have some questions here for you today. So first one is, what makes you two the best candidates for these positions?
So I have had 2 years of experience on USG as Director of Governmental Affairs. In my freshman year, I served on 2 committees, so kind of all 3 years that I've been here at Kent State, I've been on USG, and I've seen how different leadership roles have impacted different things, and I see the changes that I want to make, and yeah, that's
excellent.
Yeah. For me, I've been in student government since I was 12 years old, so student government's always been a passion of mine. I even founded a social justice club when I was in high school at age 16, so passion for helping others have kind of been deep-rooted. And I'm currently the senator for the Honors College in USG. I also serve as the co-chair of the Academic Senate. So I believe Jesse and I have the most experience out of the 2 tickets, but we truly just have such a passion and drive for the work that we do, and we have the organizational and structural skills behind it.
Yeah, those are definitely impressive qualifications for sure. So what is the main focus of your campaign, and what do you two both aim to accomplish?
We have a lot of things that we want to get done, but I would say the main thing is advocacy for the students. One of our biggest points is a syllabus bank. With this, students would be able to find out what a class entails before they get into it, instead of just knowing the name or maybe using Rate My Professor. You'd actually be able to get more insight into what a class entails.
Yeah, and the syllabus bank has been established by a plethora of universities across the country that I'm actually in contact with and can get clear access of what, like, a goal of how it will look at Kent State University, and it's submitted by students and faculty members. It has been proven across universities to lower withdrawal rates and improve student satisfaction in the courses that they take.
That is excellent information. As current members of USG, how important is it for students to be involved with this election?
I would say extremely. It's important to get to choose the people who represent you. Between senators and directors and the presidency, there are so many different people who are speaking on your behalf. So having a voice in that and who picks you is extremely important.
Yeah, it is.
And ultimately, as president and vice president, we are the ones that typically travel to the State House to advocate for students of Kent State, for and against bills. So we'd be the face, essentially, behind the students' actual opinions and voices.
Wow, that's great. And for my last question, do you guys have any last messages to the community ahead of Election Day?
There's so many things to say.
Yeah.
I would say, please read our platform and check out our campaign website. It's found on my Instagram and Jesse's Instagram. Mine's Shannon.Brown10.
Jesse Starkey.
Yeah, and just find out more about us through there.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Thank you again, guys, for sharing that. Alrighty, yeah, so elections will take place next week on Flashline and KentStateUSG.com. Voting starts on Tuesday at 8 a.m. and will close on Wednesday at 5 p.m.
A Michigan jury's decision makes history. What decision they made and what precedent is setting.
Getting some McDonald's tonight? Maybe not. After the break, we have updates on what's happening to some of the franchise's locations around the world.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. This evening, the verdict for a case involving James Crumbley, the father of a teenage school shooter, was delivered. Crumbley has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, adding to the whole family list of convictions concerning the shooting. Emily Schmidt reports.
Testify in his manslaughter trial. Thursday night, he heard what the jury had to say. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter 4 times over.
Guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
The jurors, 6 men and 6 women, deliberated about 10 hours in the manslaughter trial for the father of Ethan Crumbley, the Michigan teen who shot and killed 4 students at Oxford High School in 2021. James Crumbley shook his head as the verdict was read. His lawyers had argued he had no idea what his son was planning.
You heard no testimony and saw no evidence that James Crumbley knew what his son was planning.
Yet prosecutors had argued the father was, quote, grossly negligent after buying a 9mm gun just days before his son used that gun in the shooting.
James Crumbley was presented with the easiest, most glaring opportunities to prevent the deaths of these 4 students. And he did nothing.
Crumbley's wife, Jennifer, was found guilty of the same charges last month. It's the first time a school shooter's parents have been convicted in relation to their child's crimes. Both Jennifer and James will face sentencing together in April. Each count carries a 15-year maximum prison sentence to be served concurrently. Family members of the 4 victims cried and embraced after learning of the verdict. 3 painful trials completed, 3 members of a family convicted to pay a price for such great loss. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
With the government funding deadline being a week away, it looks like Congress could face another potential shutdown. This means Congress has a week to work out deals on 6 bills. If no negotiations happen, funds will not be provided to departments and agencies temporarily. With the deadline approaching, some departments have protocols where they're required to start planning for a shutdown now.
The House GOP is considering ending their impeachment inquiry against President Biden. The inquiry was opened about 6 months ago, however, it lacks the votes to impeach the president. Instead, Republicans are now discussing whether to end the investigation by sending criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. The final decision on how to end the inquiry is up to House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Adriana Gajeski, and now let's take a look at the temperatures around Northeast Ohio. So currently in Sandusky, it's 44. In Cleveland, it's 43. And behind in Ashtabula is 46. And over in Kent, it's 47. Youngstown was 50. And then Mansfield, 45. Worcester, 47. And Canton, 49. And then furthermore, in Lima, it's 54, Columbus 53, Dayton 53 also, Cincinnati 56, Akron 47, Steubenville 53, and then 55 in Athens. Now the 7-day forecast. So Saturday, it's going to be a little cloudy with a high of 60. Same for Sunday, but with a high of 44, so a little bit colder. Monday, there will be and that's all for now. And remember to keep an umbrella handy this upcoming week. Back to the news.
A system outage forced McDonald's to temporarily suspend their operations around the world. Services such as mobile ordering and self-ordering kiosks were most affected by the outrage, while countries affected included the U.S., Japan, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Taiwan. The fast food chain says that Friday's outrages were not related to any cybersecurity events. However, they did not give any more details on the cause.
Last February, the U.S. experienced a jump in energy and fuel costs that pushed wholesale inflation much faster than expected. The Producer Price Index measures the average change in prices that producers and manufacturers pay to suppliers. The federal government reports it rose 1.6% for the 12 months ending in February, while on the monthly basis, index rose 0.6%. This is double than what was expected.
Well, not one, but two Kent teams are making runs at the MAC Championship. I'll have the full breakdown next in my report.
Coming up, a blueberry has gained fame for breaking a world record. We'll tell you more.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one.
Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe.
Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Sartor, and wow, do we have some Kent State athletics to break down together. From the men to the women, both making a run at conference championships. So come along as we get the ball rolling on sports. We mentioned the success in the Open, but these Lady Flashes are as hot as could be. The women started their tournament run on Wednesday when they beat Northern Illinois in their first postseason matchup, and continuing their dominance today as they triumph over the Ball State Cardinals. The final was 65-50 as Bridget Dunn and Katie Shoemate finished with double-doubles. Jenna Bash also all over the court, making things difficult for Ball State offensively. However, for head coach Todd Starkey, the job's not finished, as Kent will attempt to win their first conference championship since 2002 and are making their first appearance back since 2006. The 3-seed Flashes will take on the 4-seed Buffalo for championship glory in the MAC Conference, and the game will be held tomorrow, Saturday at 11 a.m., and you can catch the final affair on ESPN+. We transition to the men's team, and folks, I may need to call myself out a little bit. Last week I referred to this team as heavy underdogs entering the tournament, but now I kind of have to eat my words as those underdogs took over the game. Astoundingly, the upset of the year perhaps in Kent, the 8-seeded Flashes taking down the 1-seeded juggernaut of Toledo. Who else but Von Cameron Davis giving his best effort? Career high of 26 points and also 12 rebounds. Davis gave Kent the spark and push they needed and never looked back. The semi-championship affair is underway as we speak, and right now, 15:43 to go. Kent State is up 41-36, so incredible there. If Kent can move on to win this one here, they will play the winner of Ohio versus Akron, and that's beginning at 7 o'clock today. And we move now to NFL free agency, stepping away from Kent, and I want to address one specific free agent signing. That would be the Cleveland Browns opting to sign Jameis Winston as their backup QB and allowing Joe Flacco to walk. He signed with the Colts yesterday. Many fans in and around Cleveland were upset with this move. Seeing the success Flacco had last season, the Browns have proved they need a capable backup. But I think moving on from Flacco was the correct move. When you trade 3 first-round picks and sign Deshaun Watson to the most guaranteed money in sports history, the Browns couldn't keep Flacco. Fans would be asking for him to start after any loss, and quickly the city could be even more against Watson. And the problem is, like it or not, this is Deshaun Watson's team. And keeping Flacco could undermine future success of Watson and waste all of the capital spent on him. Folks, thanks for coming along this journey with us. We're excited to root on these Kent basketball programs this weekend, and I hope you check in on these games as it will be very exciting, full-on postseason basketball. Till next time, I've been Pat Sartor.
A goose in Iowa is getting national attention. We'll have the details after this break.
What if you could make an impact? Be the change. Create a legacy. What if you could do it all? Join an organization 96 years in the making and gain experience in a professional work environment with industry-level resources.
Getting started right away as a first-year student allowed me to gain real experience, gain the best of friends, and I got an internship with the Today Show where I got to live in New York.
Showcase and develop your talents as a writer, editor, photographer, fashion editor, filmmaker, journalist, operator, designer. If you can dream it, we can do it. Student media makes an impact on our community, on our students, and on the world. Together we share our voices. Together we leave our mark. Together we are Kent State Student Media.
A year ago, the mate of an Iowa goose named Blossom passed away at the Riverside Cemetery in Marshallton. Luckily for Blossom, the general manager of the cemetery posted a personal ad on Facebook to set Blossom up with a new mate. A couple who saw the ad ended up bringing a goose named Frankie, and the two fell in love. Updates on how the goose couple is doing are coming to the cemetery's Facebook page, while the couple gets many daily visitors at their home in the cemetery.
Ever heard of heavyweight champion? How about a fruit heavyweight champion? Well, that award goes to a blueberry in Australia. The berry has broken the Guinness Book of World Records for heaviest blueberry. The inch-and-a-half blueberry came weighing in at 20.4 grams, beating the previous record holder of 16.20 grams. The berry isn't alone, though, with cultivators saying there are around 20 other berries just like it.
That is such a cute love story. That is the Romeo and Juliet of 2024.
I mean, I guess. To me, it's kind of giving the Pina Colada song, though. Like he put a personal ad in the paper.
Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, whoever set that goose up, the general manager of the cemetery, she was doing him a favor.
I mean, probably preventing goose depression, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a cemetery. There's just a lot of sadness in that cemetery, including the goose death.
Getting some laughters in the studio about it. Animals can suffer depression, guys.
Well, that's all the time we have for now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
For more updates, be sure to visit our website at KentWired.com or in our socials at KentWired. I'm Nikki Gajeski.
And I'm Lex Brady. Have a great night, Portage County.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Recharge, you're almost done. with a grown-up every day.